Can you prove that Christianity is true? There's a very strong case to be made for putting your faith in Jesus.
Oh yeah? Prove it.
Well, that's an interesting challenge because there's a difference between making a strong case and proving something to be true.
Oh, so you can't prove it?
Just as I thought.
It's actually really difficult to prove a great many things.
What do you mean?
You sound like you're making excuses.
Well, let's think about this a bit. Consider a basic and obvious claim.
1 + 1 = 2?
Almost everyone will agree that you need little to no proof to accept that. But other claims aren't that obvious. For example, how much proof would you need to conclude that aliens exist?
Look, Bob, prove aliens do exist.
Some people might need to just see a UFO flying through the sky. Other people might want to touch the debris of a spaceship. Or perhaps they might want to hear the verdict of the scientific community. And still others might need to meet an alien for themselves.
You would like to meet the alien.
How much evidence someone needs depends on a whole host of other beliefs they have about, say, the probability that extraterrestrials exist somewhere in the universe, how likely it is that these aliens would want to visit us, and a whole bunch of other beliefs as well.
Alien technology the government's been hiding for 70 years.
You see, if aliens really did exist, and I'm not saying they do, but if they did, it could be hard to prove their existence to everyone's satisfaction.
Aliens aren't real?
Oh, no, you can't fool me.
When it comes to the existence of God, Jesus' death and resurrection, and the whole Christian faith, a similar type of situation exists. People have a lot of other beliefs that affect how much evidence they need for there to be proof. And for some atheists, their standard of proof is so high that they can't even think of what it would take for them to be persuaded. In fact, one well-known atheist, Dr. Richard Dawkins, said this very thing.
What would persuade you?
Well, I'm starting to think nothing would, which in a way goes against the grain, because I've always paid lip service to the view that a scientist should change his mind when evidence is forthcoming. The trouble is, I can't think what that evidence would look like.
So as Dawkins admitted, if he can't even think of what it would take to persuade him, how could anyone ever prove to him that God existed? Anything that anyone ever presented him could always be dismissed as not enough. He could always fold his arms, shake his head, and say,
I'm not convinced.
That's not enough.
So when it comes to faith in Jesus, it's best not to talk about proof. Instead, it's better to talk about making a strong case, or showing that Christianity is more probable than not. What we should ask is whether the evidence makes it more likely to be true than false. If it's more likely to be true, then a rational person will come to believe. If you'd like to explore this issue some more, you should check out the lit series called Faith Doesn't Have to Be Blind by Worldview Summit. In particular, you should listen to episode 6. Just click on the link for more.